Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with a new Viking Orations. Got another album review for you today, and this time around I'm going to be talking to you about the debut full-length album from the band Well of Night, entitled The Lower Planes of Self-Abstraction, released just this year by the band themselves. And if you are not familiar with Well of Night, they are a melodic black metal band from Dayton, Ohio, that formed back in 2015, featuring Josh McElfresh on bass, Lindsey Pittman on drums, Max Otworth handling guitars and vocals, and Ethan Valter on guitars. It must be noted, though, that Josh did not play bass on this recording. All of it was recorded by Max and Ethan, so he had joined after this had been recorded. But yeah, as I said, this is their debut full-length album. It is 6 tracks, clocks in just over 45 minutes in length, and is the follow-up to their 2019 demo, as well as the Crimson Hexagon EP from back in 2016, and I gotta say, this is a hell of a debut full length. I really loved the intro to this with the keyboards and the bass riff that's playing and this really distant guitar riff that's in the background that kind of sounds a little epic. And then how it just kind of really crescendos into these fast-paced riffs and the blast beats. I mean, it's a hell of a way to open an album. And, you know, throughout this whole album, the riffs really leave no doubt that what you're listening to is black metal. It's got the tremolo picking and just that old school black metal guitar tone to it. I hear a bit of Gorgoroth, mainly in like track 4, the opening riff, which is Ritual of the Seven Shrines. That opening riff really gives it that Gorgoroth feel, and I might even hear just a little bit of Dark Funeral in there. The bass is actually quite audible for black metal. I mean, that's one thing that black metal seems to be known for, is the lack of bass in the mix. But here, the bass is really audible, has a nice thick tone, and you can always hear it rumbling away in the background, giving it that solid backbone to all of the songs. There's some really good drum production on here. I really like the sound that they got. I think they really captured that black metal drum sound really well. There's some really good drum patterns on here, well executed double bass, lots of blast beats, but not in the Dark Funeral, constant blast beats, 24/7 type style, but there's definitely a lot on this album. Max's vocals are that, you know, kind of nice, traditional black metal style scream. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Ron Vento from Aurora Borealis, that kind of a style. The only thing is he doesn't have much variety to them. I mean, he still does a killer job, but there's not a whole lot of variety. He kind of sticks with the same kind of, you know, style. He doesn't mix it up with maybe some higher screams or maybe even a lower growl. But, you know, other than that, I thought he did a really good job on this album. Now, track 2, Allegiance to the Barren Lands. I just love that higher sounding, you know, you know, tremolo riff that you hear, then it goes straight to this heavy, almost death metal style riff right afterwards. About 4 minutes and 34 seconds in, the tempo shifts to an almost doom death riff and bass combo with a slower drum beat underneath, and it kicks back into gear at about 5:14 with this especially just filthy sounding bass riff towards the end that I absolutely loved. Track 3, Doctrine of Futility and Human Extinction. What a title. About 1 minute and 59 seconds in, they're just really cool, higher-pitched tremolo riff that ends with this, it's hard to describe, it's kind of like a whew style, almost video game-ish, like 80s video game-ish sound that he does, and it repeats a couple times before returning to the, you know, tremolo-picked riffs. I mean, I did not do a very good impression of it, but once you listen to this song, you will hear what I'm talking about. Now, track 6, Ossuary of the Fallen Snow. But despite being the longest track at 10 minutes and 14 seconds, it's probably the one I wrote the most about. There's a really cool riff about 2 minutes and 14 seconds in. At about the 4:20 mark. I just love that tempo shift that they do to a slightly heavier riff and how it kind of interplays with the bass, leading to this really killer guitar solo that happens. Okay, now this part you're going to have to bear with me because I kind of got my stuff switched around on the timeline here. About 6 minutes and 15 seconds in, it slows down with this heavy, you know, dun 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 bass riff that I really loved. And then at 7:58, it slows down with the bass just kind of twanging away underneath, and this slow guitar solo that just sounds absolutely epic. And then towards the end, I just love how it has this kind of, again, I guess you can almost call it that same style riff that appeared in track 3. It's kind of a higher, diggy style riff, and how it hits this one note, just like he hits the note and just fades out, bam, album is done. Really great way to end the album, and I know I did not do it justice with those sound effects, so I apologize. But overall, this is just a solid album of just old school style black metal with that little bit of melodic touch to it. All the tracks are long, yet you really get so caught up in the experience, you never really notice how long they are because you're just listening to the song, you're just getting into it. And then you realize, oh shit, this has been going on for, 6 minutes, or this has been going on for, 7 minutes already. Holy shit. I mean, to me, that's a sign of a really well-written album. But yeah, solid 9 out of 10 from me. Go check out Well of Night. I will leave a link below where you can pick up a copy of this album and listen to it for yourself. That is going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.